Hello students, let's read the problem. And it says, the following table represents points on the graph of a linear function. What is the rate of change that represents this function? So, what am I looking for? Well, I can see the word rate of change. Is that right? So, can you find another word that means the same thing than rate of change? Because if you do, that will really help you understand and try to solving the problem, right? So give me another word for rate of change. I hope that you remember that slope is the same as rate of change. And there is a letter or a variable that we use for slope on any given equation, right? And that will be m. Very good. So let's suppose I write an equation, y equals mx plus b, then m will be my slope, okay? So let's think about the rate of change. If you remember from previous lessons maybe, you will remember that the way that we can find rate of change is kind of like finding a pattern. Is that right? So finding a pattern means that I want to know, for example, how or what am I doing to go from a 0 to a 3? Am I adding? Am I subtracting? What am I doing? Well, to go from 0 to a 3, I can see that I'm adding a 3. Is that right? What about on the other side? How do I go from a 4 to a 1.75? So I can see that the number is decreasing. Is that right? So I can think about subtracting, but you got to remember that from 4 to a 1.75, you're not adding. You're actually subtracting. So I'm going to put a little negative sign in there. And that will be get 2.25. Very good. 2.25. How about on the x on the other side? How do I go from a 3 to a 5? Okay, so from here will be a plus 2. And from here to here will be I'm going to take away 1.75 minus 0.25. Is that right? So what do I get? It's going to be a negative 1.5 or 1.50, right? Okay, so this is basically the change of the y over the change of the x, if you remember, right? So I'm going to write it down over here. Change of y over change of x. So I'm going to look at the first one. The change of y, it's negative 2.25. And the change of x is a 3. Go ahead and simplify those two for me. And you will get a negative 0.75. Okay, very good. Now we're going to do the second point. Still, the change of y over change of x. But now I'm going to choose the next numbers, which was my difference, right? So that will be negative 1.50 over 2. If you simplify that, or if you divide, remember there's two things you can do. On the top one, notice how I just divided straightforward. On the second one, what about if we simplify by dividing it by 2? Okay, so if I do that, I will get something with a denominator of 1. And negative 1.50 divided by 2, I get a negative, what, 0.75? Okay, very good. But notice how those two answers are exactly the same. Is that correct? I do see that negative 0.75, even if it has a 1 on the denominator, the value of those two numbers are exactly the same. Very good. Look, if you look at the answer choices, we can already identify the answer. Is that correct? But since we're trying to practice a little bit, I want to do the actual formula for a slope. So let's find a slope over here. So to find a slope, I need to write down my formula. which says m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x of 2 minus x of 1. I am going to choose 2 points from there. It won't matter what points I choose. So I'm going to choose the first one, but then I'm going to choose the one with a 0, just because it's more convenient, right? So this will be x of 1, y of 1. Don't forget your labels. X of 2 and y of 2. And the next thing is I'm going to circle my y values. Those are the ones that they go on the numerator. So this will be 4 minus 7 over 0 minus negative 4. Be very careful with the negative 4. My number says, or my denominator says 0 minus, but then I still need to put the negative sign. So I will get 4 minus 7 gives me a negative 3. And 0 minus negative 4, I get a positive 4. So this is the same as negative 3 over 4. And I know what you're thinking. Miss, I didn't get the same answer than the top rate of change. It is the same. Negative 3 over 4 is the same as negative 0.75. Think about the 3/4 as quarters. You have 3/4 out of the 4 that are in a dollar. Is that right? How much money is that? 3/4, it's 75 cents. Therefore, 3/4 is the same as 0.75. So my answer for this will be letter B. Very good.